What if evolution had no rulebook? What kind of insects would exist? Maybe a predator disguised as a flower, or a leaf that isn't actually a leaf. A bug with the face of an alien, or a creature that looks exactly like a hummingbird but is actually a close relative of a butterfly. It sounds impossible, but nature has already created every one of them. This isn't Photoshop. These aren't AI-generated images, and they're definitely not the result of a scientific experiment. These extraordinary creatures are real, living on this very planet right now. But here's the most shocking part. They didn't evolve to look strange. Every bizarre shape, every unbelievable color, every unusual body part exists for one reason: survival. Today, we're about to discover the most impossible-looking bugs ever found in nature. And by the end of this video, you'll realize something incredible. Maybe we don't need to search for aliens in outer space, because Earth has been hiding alien-looking creatures in its forests all along. So, let's shrink down and step into the hidden world of insects, where reality is often stranger than science fiction. And trust me, the very first bug will leave you questioning what you're looking at: Orchid Mantis. Imagine this. A hungry insect spots a beautiful flower and lands on it, expecting an easy meal. But there's one problem. It isn't a flower at all. It's the Orchid Mantis, one of nature's most brilliant ambush predators. Its entire body has evolved to resemble the delicate pink and white petals of an orchid. From a distance, it's almost impossible to tell the difference. And that's exactly what makes this hunter so deadly. Bees, butterflies, and other pollinating insects are naturally drawn toward it, believing they've found a flower full of nectar. But the moment they land, snap, its powerful raptorial forelegs strike in a fraction of a second, leaving the prey with virtually no chance of escape. And here's the most fascinating part. Scientists have found that in some situations, an orchid mantis can attract even more pollinating insects than a real flower. In other words, evolution didn't just create perfect camouflage. It created a living trap so convincing that prey willingly flies straight into it. But becoming a flower isn't even nature's most unbelievable illusion, because the next bug doesn't pretend to be a plant. It becomes something even more impossible: Thorn Bug. Now imagine an insect spending the entire day sitting on a tree branch, while birds fly past it over and over again without noticing it even once. Sounds impossible, right? But that's exactly what the thorn bug does. At first glance, it doesn't even look like a living creature. Instead, it looks exactly like one of the sharp thorns growing from a tree branch. Its strange, horn-like extension makes the illusion so convincing that most birds and lizards simply ignore it. To them, it's just another harmless thorn. But here's what's even more fascinating. Scientists believe this bizarre shape doesn't just provide camouflage. It also makes predators hesitate, because in nature, animals are far less likely to attack something that looks completely ordinary and familiar. Think about it. If you were walking through a forest filled with thousands of thorns, would you stop to inspect every single one? Probably not. And that's exactly the advantage the thorn bug depends on. Nature didn't give it incredible speed, deadly venom, or powerful jaws. It gave it something far more valuable: the ability to disappear in plain sight. But looking like a thorn isn't even evolution's most unbelievable disguise, because the next insect looks like a tiny hummingbird, yet it's actually a moth. Hummingbird Hawk-Moth. From a distance, it looks exactly like a tiny hummingbird. It hovers effortlessly in front of flowers, remaining perfectly still in midair while extending its long proboscis to drink nectar, just like a hummingbird. But the closer you get, the more unbelievable the truth becomes. This isn't a bird, it's a moth. Its wings beat more than 70 times every second, allowing it to hover with incredible precision without ever landing. And because it's active during the daytime instead of at night, many people mistake it for a real hummingbird. Nature didn't try to turn this insect into a bird. Instead, evolution found the same solution to the same problem. Scientists call this convergent evolution, when two completely unrelated species independently evolve similar features because they face similar challenges. But looking like a hummingbird isn't evolution's greatest illusion, because the next insect carries something even stranger: a fake face designed to fool its enemies. Peanut-head lanternfly. The first time scientists studied this bizarre insect, even they were fascinated by its strange appearance. At first glance, it almost looks as if someone attached a second, alien-like creature to the front of its head. Its long, bulb-shaped head gives it one of the most unusual silhouettes in the insect world, but that's only part of the story. Many species also have large, eye-like patterns hidden on their wings. When a hungry bird dives in for an attack, the lanternfly suddenly spreads its wings. In an instant, two enormous eyes seem to appear out of nowhere. For just a split second, the predator hesitates. And sometimes, that's all the time this insect needs to escape. In nature, survival isn't always about fighting back. Sometimes, the greatest defense is simply confusing your enemy. But fake eyes aren't evolution's most convincing disguise, because the next insect doesn't just resemble a leaf, it becomes one. Dead leaf mantis. Imagine walking through a forest covered with thousands of dry leaves. A gentle breeze begins to blow, and every leaf starts swaying back and forth. Among them, one leaf is moving too. But there's one problem. It isn't a leaf at all. It's the dead leaf mantis. Its entire body has evolved to imitate a dried, lifeless leaf with astonishing accuracy. Its jagged edges look as if insects have already chewed pieces out of it. Its brown and yellow colors perfectly match fallen leaves scattered across the forest floor. But the illusion doesn't stop there. Even its movements are carefully designed. Instead of walking normally, it slowly rocks from side to side, just like a dry leaf being pushed by the wind. To a predator, it isn't an insect. It's simply another dead leaf. But the moment an unsuspecting insect wanders too close, snap! In less than a second, that harmless-looking leaf transforms into a deadly ambush predator. Just imagine, if every dry leaf around you could suddenly come to life, walking through a forest would become a very different experience. But disguising itself as a leaf isn't nature's final illusion, because the next insect has stretched its body so dramatically that it looks less like an insect and more like a tiny living giraffe. Giraffe weevil. Deep within the rainforests of Madagascar lives an insect that looks as if evolution combined a beetle with a giraffe. Meet the giraffe weevil. The very first thing you'll notice is its incredibly long neck. In males, the neck can actually be longer than the rest of the body. Naturally, that raises one question. Why would an insect need a neck like that? Does it feed on leaves like a real giraffe? Not at all. This extraordinary neck serves two very important purposes. First, it's a weapon. During the breeding season, males battle each other by pushing and wrestling with their elongated necks. The winner earns the opportunity to mate with a female. But that's only half the story. When it's time for the female to lay an egg, the male uses that same long neck as a construction tool. It carefully rolls and folds a leaf into a protective cradle, creating a safe nursery where the female can lay her egg. Just imagine, one body part that's powerful enough to win battles, yet precise enough to help build a home for the next generation. Nature once again proves that evolution rarely creates features for just one purpose. But even a neck that works as both a weapon and a tool isn't nature's strangest design, because the next insect looks as if an entire forest has started growing on its back. Tree hopper. From a distance, it looks like nothing more than a tiny fungus growing on a tree branch. Take a few steps closer, and you might think it's just a new plant shoot, but neither of those guesses is correct. It's the tree hopper, one of the most bizarre-looking insects ever created by evolution. The most extraordinary feature of a tree hopper is the strange helmet-like structure rising above its head, and no two species look exactly alike. Some resemble sharp thorns. Others look like tiny mushrooms. Some imitate broken twigs, and a few have such bizarre shapes that they almost look like miniature alien spacecraft. For years, scientists wondered why evolution produced such incredible designs. Today, it's believed that these unusual shapes help confuse predators, improve camouflage, and make the insects much harder to recognize as prey. In other words, the stranger the appearance, the better the chances of survival. Nature doesn't care about beauty, it cares about staying alive. But if you think camouflage is the greatest superpower an insect can have, the next creature doesn't rely on disguises at all. Instead, it hunts with the speed and precision of a perfectly trained assassin. Assassin bug. Some insects survive by hiding. Others survive by running away, but this one survives by becoming the perfect hunter. Meet the assassin bug. Its attack is every bit as deadly as its name suggests. It silently creeps toward its prey, getting closer without making the slightest sound. Then, In a single, lightning-fast strike, it drives its long, needle-like mouth part straight into the victim. But it doesn't simply bite. It injects a powerful digestive saliva that begins breaking down the prey's internal tissues into a liquid. Once the process is complete, the assassin bug simply drinks the liquefied contents through the very same mouth part. In other words, it doesn't chew its food at all. It digests it from the inside out. And as if that wasn't disturbing enough, some assassin bug species cover themselves with the remains of dead insects, creating a gruesome disguise that helps them blend into their surroundings and avoid predators. Nature once again proves that sometimes the most dangerous weapon isn't strength, it's deception. But even this deadly hunter isn't evolution's greatest illusion, because the final creature on our list looks so unbelievable, you'll find it hard to believe it's real. Scorpionfly. At first glance, it looks like a creature made by combining several different insects into one. A long, beak-like face, delicate wings like a fly, and a curved tail that looks almost identical to a scorpion's stinger. That's exactly how it got its name, scorpionfly. But here's the surprising truth. Despite its terrifying appearance, that tail contains no venom at all. In males, the scorpion-like tail isn't a weapon. It's mostly used as a display. They raise and curl it to intimidate rival males and attract potential mates. In other words, the feature that looks the most dangerous is often nothing more than a bluff. Nature reminds us once again that appearances can be incredibly deceptive. Not everything that looks terrifying is truly dangerous, and not everything that looks harmless is actually safe. Which is exactly why evolution continues to surprise us in the most unbelievable ways. Devil's flower mantis. And now, we've reached the most unbelievable creature on this list. Meet the devil's flower mantis. At first glance, it looks less like an insect and more like an exotic alien flower. Its body resembles delicate petals. Its legs look almost like leaves, and for a moment, it appears completely harmless. But that's exactly the illusion. Because the instant danger appears, everything changes. The mantis suddenly spreads its wings, raises its powerful forelegs, and transforms into a terrifying display designed to startle anything standing in front of it. For many predators, that single moment of hesitation is enough. Instead of attacking, they choose to back away. Just imagine a creature that first disguises itself as a beautiful flower to lure unsuspecting prey. Then, when threatened, transforms into something that looks more like a monster than an insect. It sounds like a creature from a fantasy movie, but it's completely real, and it lives right here on Earth. After seeing all of these incredible insects, one thing becomes impossible to ignore. Evolution never creates bizarre designs without a purpose. Every strange shape, every unusual color, and every unbelievable adaptation exists because it helps these creatures survive. If you are still here, then you are a true weird nature lover. Hit the like, share, and subscribe. And if you want to explore more of nature's weirdest creations, check out the video on your screen now.